Jessica here. Welcome to my show. Today is June June 2020 G 2024 2026 is on the Wednesday. I'm here to talk about the first round of the NBA draft last night, and yes, it has. Last time the NBA draft lottery had picked the Washington Wizards are the winners, and the lottery draft, NBA lottery. So now, last night became the big one. First round of the NBA draft had picked AJ DeBancer, and they just everybody was happy about it. The Washington Wizards have just picked AJ DeBancer. That was about last night. The NBA draft in round one has just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And we have to deny it. But we don't have to deny it for everything that goes out to, for sure. But we don't have to deny it for everything that's going on. Washington Wizards has just won the draft lottery last time, and AJ DeBancer is one of them. Number two is Camel Grizzle. Have picked number two as they have picked number two Kawhi Boozer as deep leaders. And it looks like it just got bigger and bigger. So anyway, it is what it is. And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to see here in the NBA draft. And that is for sure. So, number one, round one, that's just the Washington Wizards. First pick in the NBA draft, the Washington Wizards have select AJ DeBancer as BYU. Number two, the Utah Jazz select Darren Peterson from Kansas. Memphis Grizzlies has select Calvin Boozer from Duke Blue Devils. Now, Boozer have played that game here last week. Congratulations to him. You're in the pros now. Chicago Bulls have select Keeper Wilson from North Carolina. Congratulations. You're in the big leagues now. You're in this league right now. Congratulations. And the Los Angeles Clippers, Cantor Vega, Illinois, from Illinois. Brooklyn Nets select Michael Brown Jr. from Louisville. The Atlanta Hawks, Kingston Freeman from Houston. Dallas Mavericks has select Morels Johnson Jr. from Michigan. Milwaukee Bucks select Brandon Bellis from Arizona. Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors, let's say Lindbergh from Michigan. Remember, his Mexican team has just won the NBA the national championship. His team won the national championship just like 3 months ago back in April. And how's it going? And yes, it really has. So anyway, it's always about the NBA draft. The NBA draft was special. Tonight, round two is on ABC and on ESPN. Although we got the World Cup going on, soccer. The Charlotte Hornets select Hayden Stanbirds from Washington. Congratulations. And all the stuff that has just seen, all the players that I just had said, well, anyway, let's go. Let's get this thing going on. But now we're talking about everyone, all the Memphis, and the stuff that the Utah Jazz and all that kind of stuff, Kings, Nets, that didn't make the playoffs this year. They were like going all out. They were like going all out here this year. And that's why we had teams that just like, what in the heck is going on? What is happening here? This NBA draft shit. So now everything's off the shots. Miller's watching at home. And some in the tennis here watching. And just like this. Why can't you? What can I just say? But now we got all players for left and right. LeBron James got to do something like this, and we'll get that in a minute. Now, LeBron James right now, it just says you got to be surprised. You got to be surprised. That's why when you see it on TV now, you just say, "Well, what in the hell is going on? What was going to happen?" Well, that's the way it goes. That's the way it's supposed to go. And I believe, and I surely damn believe that the Washington Wizards will make it to the playoffs next year, and hopefully they might not be in the NBA Finals, but they make it to the playoffs for real. It used to be the Washington Bullocks, but now Washington Wizards. It's just like this. They are the number one. They are the number one pick in this lottery, and that pick the best for sure. So everyone's on the clock. Let's see what happens. Now, AJ DeBassin will go to U.S. News, and it says this: AJ DeBassin is on his way to Washington and ready to start working as soon as he gets there. That's not until Wednesday. Tuesday was a night for the NBA's number one draft pick to party. Obviously, this night is just a celebration of all the hard work I've done in the past. And so now going to celebrate. And that's what the Basson said. So we will a record number of one and done college stars who follow him. And true nation champions from Michigan and fans of both New York teams on what sound like an even more festive in NBA draft than usual. The Wizards started it by selecting DeBassin and followed him lead the nation in scoring in his one season at BYU. He averaged 25.5 points, highlighted by a 43-point effort that broke BYU's freshman scoring record and was the first of a record trying 8 straight college freshmen take to begin the draft. That matches the record set last year. Maurice Johnson Jr. at number 9 was the first non-freshman. It says this. Sebastian said, I don't think we can continue to do this. They are comparing us to an essential amount of draft classes. Obviously, we have to see how that plays out and how we do in the league. But if we talk it into existence, I think that will be pretty special. At 6'9" and 217 pounds, the Benson has strong comparison to Kevin Durant, who happens to be his favorite player. Durant grew up in the Washington era, and Wizards fans can only hope the Benson can live up to the comparisons. They sincerely hope he will be better than center Cameron Brown. The pick Washington made in 2001, 2001, the first time it had the number one select after the NBA changed draft formats to eliminate territory picks in 1966. The Wizards took John Wall in 2010, the other time, and he did turn into the All-Star. The Benson, who was called by his full name, Atlas DeBassi Jr., in tribute to his father appearing to say a quick prayer after his name was announced. They went on stage to great Commissioner Adam Silver and slipping on a black Wizards hat and a match that matches nicely with his black suit. The Boston beat out following freshman Dylan Pruitt of Kansas, I believe, who was taken at the number 2 pick by Utah. My son through Pearson had the most talent in the class. The guard missed 11 games during the season because of injuries and illness, potentially create some questions that the Basson didn't have. I can't go back and change anything now, Pearson said. Obviously, I wanted to be the number 1 pick, but I went number 2, so now I'm prepared to go to Utah and get to work. Cameron Boozer, the college player of the Flair, in his one season at Duke, was taken at number 3 by Memphis. Cable Wilson, another freshman forward from Waffle, North Carolina, went to Chicago with the next pick. Those players were then set in the top four throughout the pro-draft process, though there was essentially a case for Peterson to go first with his promise, or for Boozer with his body, after he put up 22.5 points, 10.2 rebounds, and 4.1 assists per game for Duke, where his father, Carlos, also played before becoming a two-time NBA All-Star. The uncensored was accepted to begin at number 5, the Los Angeles Clippers, according the rights to it after a trade with the Indiana Pacers and losing on Illinois guard Kenton Rager. The host Brooklyn Nets then went with Louisville guard Michael Brown Jr. Mexican's man marked make the mark. Darius Arthur Jr. to Sacramento at number 7, and Keyston Fleming to Atlanta at number 8, continuing the run of scoring guards before Dallas went back to the bigs, and created a reunion in the process by taking Moses Johnson Jr. from Michigan. Johnson was congratulated by national champion Mexican teammates Lindsey Lillard and Andy Miller, who were also in the green room, and then hugging his own and new coach. Dusty May left the Wolverines to coach the Mavericks on the eve of the draft. Lombard and Moore didn't have to wait long for their return. The Golden State Warriors took Lillard with the number 11 pick, and the Oklahoma City Thunder followed by going for the 7-3 Moore. We got our ultimate goal, winning the national championship, and we just got drafted together. All lottery picks, Johnson said. I'm proud of my brothers, and I'm very excited to see what our future has for us. Cheers for the new locals, but not for the sports. Boy, oh boy. The draft is always a celebration when all the teams have hopes, but the cheer seems even more frequent than usual. They begin with several open his remarks by honoring the NBA champion Knicks and NBA Finals MVP Jalen Brunson, with a number of fans in Brooklyn seen them wearing Knicks jerseys. Knicks fans who endured a miserable season watching the home team in the arena, applauding the selection of Brown, who had a 45-point performance to highlight his season that was cut short by a back injury. The Nets also accrued the rights to Iowa State forward Joshua Jefferson, the number 28 pick from Minnesota, through a three-team trade agreed to Monday, in which the Nets will get Julius Randle from the team's Timberwolves, but loan some brief deals from Silver that pro sports commissioners often get at the start of their drafts. Wasn't any until it was announced that the San Antonio Spurs, who lost to the Knicks in the finals, went on the clock. Loud boos broke out the container when it was announced that the Spurs took forward Jalen Cortez, who played in just 4 games for Kentucky last season because of the knee injury. From Milwaukee to Mexico, the Milwaukee Bucks, who are losing two-time NBA MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo, picking up 2 rookies. They took Arizona guard Brandon Bowers with the number 10 pick, and are including the rights to Tennessee for Nate Emmett, who was taken at number 13 by Miami, but is part of the package that he are sending to Milwaukee and are trading for Antetokounmpo that was agreed to Monday. Carol Lopez became the first Mexican-born player drafted in the first round. The 6'8" forward, who spent the last 2 seasons playing with the New Zealand Breakers, was taken by Detroit, and his rights was recruited by Memphis. The second round will be held tonight, and boy, oh boy, you gotta get ready. But anyway, I just want to say there's whole stuff going on. Can the Washington Wizards make it to the playoffs? Although I can only say 100% yes, I think they can do it. And sure, I think they were always going to do it because they number one for sure. Now, Ronald Arturo Cooper is going to Miami Heat. And we have to talk about LeBron James. So I'm going to talk about it right now. I'm going to say this right now. I think LeBron James might be done. I think he might be. And I think he might be. It will be done. But he won't be back in LA. He won't be playing in LA next season in 2026, 27. And for all we know is, wow, this has been a shock. Now, LeBron James has moved on. That he's done for the Lakers. He had been playing for the Lakers for 8 years. Had the Lakers win the NBA title. And yes, absolutely. Just like Kobe Bryant did. Just like Shaquille O'Neal did. LeBron James did for the Lakers. Just like 6 years ago. So here's what they talking about. The Miami Heat want LeBron James. They're trying to get LeBron James to rejoin the Miami Heat. And yes, they do really has. And I say that's what now. I mean, we're going to talk about that in a minute. LeBron James had been the Miami Heat for 4 years. Had the Heat win an NBA championship back in 2012 and back in 2013. It says this. I'm going to MSN. Listen to this. I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat. These are words every Miami Heat fan remembers, and so does Kessa, as they suggest LeBron has a chance at returning to the Miami Heat next season. Following Miami's acquisition of Giannis, Miami saw a boost in the LeBron James next team market, going from 1% to a 5% chance of landing him on Canada's NBA market. Right after the trade, Miami's odds sparked to 10% before dropping back to 5. Now, LeBron James' next team could be. Now, 73% says stays with the Los Angeles Lakers or retires. The Cleveland Cavaliers, 50% says Cleveland Cavaliers. 8% chance says the Golden State Warriors. And 5% chance for LeBron's next team is Miami Heat. Cassius will grade the market, yes, only if James is on the Miami Heat roster by October 23rd, 2026. At the 5% trading price at $10, trade will profit $177.40 if he returns to Miami. Now, the path to LeBron. Where there's a will, there's a way. Miami has passed to LeBron, though it won't be easy. The first will be to simple offering him at mid-level assassin contract worth around $12 to $15 million or less. Since they had $18 million to spend on 5 roster spots, Miami Heat President Pat Riley will need to convince James to accept that pay cut. The second will be a sign and trade that send Andrew Wiggins to the Los Angeles Lakers. Wiggins had a $30.17 million player option that he could opt into and be on a spelling contract. This will guarantee LeBron more money, but still at $20 million pay cut from a $50 million contract that he's coming off the season. Miami Hall insider Barry Jackson wrote that Miami could offer LeBron the full invader reception, but that James' return is considered a long shot. LeBron to Miami. Listen to this. Now, James knows Miami very well. He played for them from 2011 to 2014. In those 4 years, he averaged 26.9 points, 7.6 rebounds, 6.7 assists, 1.7 steals, and 7.7 blocks. Those numbers have led Miami to four straight Eastern Conference titles and two NBA championships. He also won back-to-back league MVPs in 2010, 2012, and 2013. Now, say this, never say this at least. I can assure that, man, this is how this is gonna happen. But so now, I'm just making sure that LeBron says, someone will say, now 60% chance that LeBron will rejoin the Heat if he has to. We just have to wait and see. Now, Tina Purple is joining the Miami Heat, and he may be a good player, and there he is right now. So now, anyway, what I just saying about this right now, I mean, they just traded Heat. I'm not sure. Tina Purple and Van Emerald seen together in Las Vegas. Now it is what it is. We're gonna find out probably next time, probably tomorrow, if we had something going on. Now Jalen Brown draws fans with first post since Gallus Antetokounmpo trade, and it says this. Now I'm gonna close up. Jalen Brown has broke his silence. Well, kind of. Today, the center star delivering his first post since Boston failed to trade him to the Milwaukee Bucks for Giannis Antetokounmpo, who was sent to the Miami Heat instead. And well, let's just say Brown post didn't offer any insight into whether he wants to stay with the Celtics. I love cats, Brown wrote. That's it. That's the treat. Perhaps Brian genuinely felt like sharing his thoughts on cats, which, by the way, are relatively rebuffed animals from evolutionarily and broccoli standpoints. Sorry, dogs, but you can't compete. The real question is, in which NBA city will Brian care for his cats? Next fall, all signs point towards Boston moving in a different trade. That's one for New Orleans Pelicans for Trey Wolfie the dog. We'll have to find out, and for sure, it is what it is, and that's what it is. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen here on 2026-27 season, since the Knicks have won the NBA championship, and I'm glad about that. But I'm okay with that. That's gonna be it for this movie. That's gonna be it. This lead to a live stream for now. For all of us here on the Joseph Curtis Show, subscribe to this YouTube channel, like it, and love it, and make a comment. Until then, God bless. Remember, NBA Draft Round 2 starts tonight.